Tracking KPIs is great, but if they don't change what you do, they're just silly numbers on a screen. This video is about how to use your data to identify the things that you can delegate, the things you can automate, or sometimes just let go of. And they're really based on real signals in your business, not just the noise, but the signals. So stick around. I'm going to show you how to stop reacting to reports and start leading from them. I'm Brett from brettcpayne.com, and I help founders and CEOs and executives move from over-involved to operationally free using systems built on clarity. There's nothing better in the world than to know that it's Friday afternoon, I can leave for the weekend and not think about what's happening in my business. But better yet, you can leave on a Tuesday, or you can leave for a week, or you can leave for a month. That's the goal. People ask me what I do. I try to help business owners leave for 30 days and not worry about their business, because they know it's not going to just stay stagnant. It's going to grow, and it's definitely not going to fall apart. That's why I'm here. Awareness is just the first step, right? You've got to have systems that give you clarity. Freedom's going to come when data drives the action. So let's break down how to make that leap. Let me give you a couple levers. Lever number one is spot the repeats and systemize the solution. If your KPIs keep flagging the same issue, it's not a surprise. It's a system gap is what that is. If you just see the same thing happening every week in those numbers that you're staring at on your screen, use that trend. If you're seeing that happen, use that trend to build a quick SOP. Secondly, to do a Loom walkthrough. And thirdly, a delegated workflow. So if you see a gap happening and you know how to fix it, design the standard operating procedure. This is what we need to do. Describe in a video how to do the thing so that KPI can start adjusting properly. And then thirdly, figure out how is that going to be delegated? Who's going to watch over these things? Document once and you delegate forever. That's the phrase that I like to have. That'd be a great thing on a t-shirt, wouldn't it? That'd be boring probably, but you and I know what I'm talking about. Lever number two, automate what the numbers can predict. Here's where it gets fun. You use KPI thresholds to trigger workflows. So when you see how those numbers are going to predict certain reactions in your business, what you want to do is you want to look at them like triggers. So if you see a sales spike, that means you need to auto start client onboarding. Okay. So if you are watching these numbers go up and your sales are going up, that means you need to start, it's a trigger. You need to start thinking about how, when it gets to a certain number, that is going to trigger this client onboarding. Now, you've got to have your SOPs in place. You got to have your workflows in place, but you want to look at those numbers and go, this is what this means. If I bring on, 3 sales this week and I have to bring on clients, that may not take that much time. But if it reaches 5 or 10 on my KPIs, I'm going to put a little line there to know, well, we got there. That means we need to start the process of onboarding now behind the scenes, whether it's 24 hours or 48 hours before they come on in place. If you see a revenue dip, that should kick off some kind of retention sequence. So if you see your numbers start to go a little bit low, if you get to a certain point, then that should be an indicator to you that you need to start some kind of retention activity. Maybe it's an outbound email. Maybe you want to use BombBomb and you want to personally send personal videos to your clients to make sure that you're keeping them, right? Because you might not know why they left. It might be that a client left and you need to, or a customer left, and you just need to leave them a quick voice message or just tell them thank you for all the time they spent with your company. And you really appreciate that. And tell them thank you from your staff members who worked on their things together with them. And if there's anything you can do for them in the future to let you know, and that you would love a phone call just to touch base with them, not to try to get their business back, but just to let them know that like they're an important part of the story of your business. Doing those things really, really matters. And that could all happen from a trigger in a KPI. Capacity hit, like you just reached a certain place in your workflow. Maybe you've got so many projects and you need to recruit new staff members. So there may be a threshold with an amount of work that you're operational work that you're doing, that if let's say the pipeline gets to a certain place and you know that if it hits X, that's a trigger for you to say, we need to start the process of recruiting people because our project load is getting too high, instead of having it get so high that it topples everything over. Is this all making sense? It should be very, very clear. If you're tired of knowing what's wrong, but not knowing what to do about it, this is when you hit the subscribe button, because I drop weekly systems to help you run your business without it running you. Do you feel like that sometimes? We got to get rid of that. We want you to run your business, right? Lever number 3, build visibility into daily operations. Your team shouldn't be guessing at what matters. You need to bring the KPIs into the tools that they already use. Maybe it's a sales target at the top of Slack that you have, and you just pin that to the top of Slack so they can see it every time they're in there all day long. Maybe it's a certain kind of score that you have in Asana. If you are doing projects, you can put a little score item at the top of Asana where they can see where things are going with that particular client. Maybe they're operational KPIs that are reviewed in team meetings. You know, I hate meetings, but if you're going to have a staff meeting, sometimes they can just be stand-up meetings for 5 minutes before every day. But maybe there are some operational KPIs that you can bring. You can just show people, like, here's the revenue, here's the number of projects, here's the number of people left, all the things that we talk about in our dashboards. Your numbers should really lead to action. Otherwise, they just sit there and no one checks them on this dashboard. So let me ask you, what's one metric that you check all the time? I mean, it could be as simple as just your bank account on your phone. I mean, it could be that. There's probably more. But what is something like a metric that you check all the time, but you haven't really changed your behavior around it? If you're not adding the layer of a behavior around a number, then the number doesn't really matter. Drop that in the comments for me. I want to take a look at that with you. That's the lever that you need to pull next. That's the one. Drop it in the comments for me. Lever number 4, make metrics the manager. If you're still the one deciding what's urgent, you really haven't scaled yet. Build your rules around the KPIs. If this thing dips below X, this person owns it. If this exceeds Y, this triggers this process. So you want to make the metrics, make the decisions for you. They are like the manager for you. Now the numbers are making the calls, not you. Lever number 5, layer in a scalable foundation. So now that you're delegating from data, here's the next level. I want you to go watch my video, your scalable prototype, build one like you build 10. Watch that video, because that's the one that shows you how to structure your business like it's meant to grow. So these systems don't just work, they scale. Because delegation without any kind of infrastructure, it's like duct tape, right? So I want you to look at the link in the description and make sure you go watch that video next. Your KPIs, these numbers, they are telling you something. They are signals to you, but it's what you do with that insight that unlocks your freedom. So go watch your scalable prototype. That's the next video for you. It's the missing link between data awareness and actual independence. You've got to fill that gap in there. That video is going to show you how to do that. You can click the link in the description. So let's turn your metrics into the machine that's going to bring you the success that you are looking for.